Favorite rocket ship zooming through the sky. Little Einsteins. Climb aboard, get ready to explore. There's so much to find with little Einsteins. Come on, let's go. Little Einsteins, we need you. Little Einsteins, yeah. Hey, y'all, welcome to the stream. This is Elijah Rush with the business entrepreneur, and we are on the Sabbath of Yahuwah, and all glory to Yahuwah for sure. He woke me up this morning. He gave me the use of my limbs, and I just want to give him praise on his Sabbath day. So I just thank y'all for showing up and appreciating and supporting the stream. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and we're going to get right into it. I'm going to have to turn this stuff down. I'm going to be moving a little bit, but y'all welcome in. So this is the second one. I've been trying to figure out OBS. So I got the phone charged now. I was in the shower or whatever, and I made this one. Come on, Mike. Mike, come on. Go. Come on. Get in, Mike. Mike, get in. Come on. Hurry up, Mike. Check. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. This is just to get the, you know what I'm saying, just to get that down. Let's start it up like that. Yes. No. No. Yes. But not. You need to let me know what you eating though. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I think that's good. The key with this right here is to get the you know what I'm saying, the keys that we using. I know it's a major. I know it's upbeat. It's real upbeaty. Why can't y'all hear that, bro? Why can't y'all hear that, bro? That's off beat, but it's fine. Come on, what's going on? Check. I can hear everything like I'm supposed to in this. It's just OBS, bro. Hi. Hello. I'm definitely having difficulty with OBS. I didn't say nothing like that. No, he didn't. check.
What they eat?
Chicken nuggets.
Why you get two? I got two. No, only get one. Did you tell him to get two?
No, I didn't tell him to eat anything. I said,
Go tell him to bring the other one that he grabbed.
these be assuming stuff. That's the problem. Somebody help me understand what's going on with this OBS, bro.
What, Mikey? What? I need to get dressed.
So that part is good.
I know.
Isaac, who told you to get all that stuff?
You only get one.
Live stream setup. Do 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 do. Yeah, that's better. Do 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 do. All right, let's get started. Y'all bear with me as I get all this stuff situated. Do 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 do. Definitely G. Okay. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I'm trying to figure out what instrument that is. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I'm gonna have to figure out what kind of. Let's see. You got G.
Mikey.
Is that C major?
Stop doing that.
I think it's gonna be C.
Can you walk and try to get dressed?
Can you please stop talking to me like that?
No.
Let's see. I don't know a lot of. I really don't want this mic that close to me. All right. Let me see what kind of instrument that is. Maybe we can try to play it out. pretty much it.
Where you put my son?
Babe, why are you talking to me like that? Did I do something to you? With your kids, babe. Do. Do. Why don't I see that? Where's my thing at? Yo. Babe, are you watching that?
What? No.
Why are you still talking to me like that?
I'm not watching it.
Can you stop talking to me like that? Thank you. It's an offbeat. What am I in? had some time in between. I think I just wanted another measure over. Let's find the chords to that. And obviously that's a major for sure. I mean, let's go C major and leave it. Do 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 do. I want something that's more do 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 do. See if I can find something different. It's definitely a brass, but it's not something I'm looking for. I want something more. It's more like a trumpet. It ain't that either. bounce might be it, but. I like that nasally, but it ain't it. Okay. I like the reverb in the other ones, but I like this one because the nasally sound of it. Take the reverb out. I want a real jumpy. Okay, hold on. How am I gonna do this? View. No, I don't want to hear that right now. Let me get another. I'm trying to do a lot at the moment. Give me a second. Piano. Dun, 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 dun. What if y'all to give me a second to cook? You know what I'm saying? Let me cook for a minute. It's gonna take me a minute to get this all together. Bless you. I think it's gonna go back where it was. I don't know if I want the piano right now. Just give me a second. Are you talking to me?
Can you get the baby?
Yeah, you can go get him, babe.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am.
Whatever.
I can't think about it.
Josiah, come here. Now. Come here. You've been having it since you woke up, right? So what is the problem?
I think they've been sharing it because Isaac had to control it when I was down there. Isaac, just tell him when he don't have it. Because he had it when I was down there. He even told my mama that he had it. So... I'm losing myself. All right. Turn it down just a little bit. saying it, it sounds more up front. Like this don't sound so up front. It sounds more a background. It's like do 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 do. You know what I'm saying? It's like no. Do 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 do. You know what? I'm after this. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. This is not going the way I wanted to go. Last time this happened, I had to redo the whole thing and start over. I hate to just let all this go, but I am.
No, you won't have none.
Let's just start over. I know this sounds crazy, but yeah.
No.
Delete.
Whew. Here.
I just want to shout out to y'all too. Like, y'all been supporting, man, especially when I go to work. I appreciate y'all for sure.
This is so good.
So I'm just like looking at this stuff. This is stuff y'all can see I be watching. But yeah, anyway.
Stop.
I am so happy to be at this moment. When Yah gives me a difficult subject and I have to split it up into different parts, it can be very difficult sometimes delivering the message because as I'm speaking and people are hearing, there are many that like to assume that they know where I'm going and what it is I'm speaking about, and because of that, they like to attack. And because of that, what I want to do is bring it all out and explain to them that we were never on the same page, and they were just hearing and then speaking through defense and not actually trying to hear me out. I mean, I do get it. Most videos on the internet today, people are saying the same things. So people just assume that my reasoning is the same as others. So they want to assume that they've heard it all before, and therefore they just disagree off rip. What many people like to do is they just defend. And then there's others that, in order to try to build their following, they like to make videos about me speaking as if they really understand what it is I'm saying when they clearly do not. And it can be very difficult for me to just ignore it all and run my race and speak as Yah has shown me to do, but that's the walk. Rejecting and resisting the calls of the flesh and allowing Yahuwah to guide us. And at this moment, I praise Yah because we are finally at the moment where I can bring all of this out and provide clarity. It's also been hard because I have been feeling like I'm in a race with time. When Yah put this series on my heart, I recognized there had to be a reason on the timing. But as we have been progressing, I can see how relevant the timing of this all has been and how the timing was perfect, because the purpose of this overall message from the beginning has been about this exact moment that we're in right now. I struggled initially when studying this topic because I felt it was similar to black on black crime. Hebrews arguing with Hebrews instead of showing unity is not a good look in any capacity. And for years, as I've seen and heard what these brothers in these One West camps have been saying and spreading, I've tried to do my best to not go at them directly and let Yah deal with them. But Yah really dealt with me on this, and even at times when I doubted, he would show me very clearly what was in front of us and why this was important to get out. And it's finally at this time that I can articulate this and explain why I have been speaking against the One West camps. I need to make it clear that I am not against the brothers and sisters that have been attached to these camps, not at all. I recognize that many of you just found leaders and they gave you fellowship and brotherhood and truth of your identity, and you feel grateful for it. I do understand that. I am not against you. Now, I am against your leaders, and in the future, I will be against those of you who follow them in this agenda that I'm about to bring out. But I have never been against the Hebrew Israelites as a whole. Definitely against doctrinal differences in the way people act and they condone certain behaviors, but I'm not against the Hebrew Israelites as a whole. People feel like I'm attacking all of you when that's just not true. I have brothers making videos about me who I won't name, but they speak in defense for Israelites like I'm talking against them, when in fact I'm speaking about an agenda that they clearly themselves have not discerned. And the thing is that if many of these brothers and sisters did more time listening and less time defending, maybe we would grow. Because after I deliver this message, I honestly don't see how many of you could be against it unless you are tied to the enemy. But we'll see. I'm against the leadership of the One West camps and the organizations that they have created and controlled. I believe that many of the leadership are not truly actually a part of the dry bones awakening that our Father has prophesied, but they are a part of a Masonic agenda that will be used against the dry bones and the true remnant when the tribulation begins, which it looks like if we're not in the beginning stages right now, we are right at the door. So this is who I'm against. It's the same way I'm against these Prince Hall pastors, these Divine Nine pastors all in the Christian church. It's the same thing to me. There's no difference. Why am I against them? It's because I believe that many of the followers of these leaders of these camps are being led to actually be enemies of Yahuwah instead of being his followers, all because they were following these leaders who had ties to Masonic agendas that they were not aware of. My purpose is to bring out an agenda that is clearly right before us, and after it's presented, everyone could do what they want with it. Whether you agree or not, that's your choice. But one thing none of you will be able to say is that you were not warned. You are all being warned to stop following the One West Hebrew Israelite camps. You don't need any of them or anyone else to be a part of the dry bones awakening our Father has prophesied. I will now explain why this series has been made and why this warning has been given. Let's close it all down. Let's begin.
At IHG's Holiday Inn Express, you can take on Miami, Mexico City, or Minneapolis. Fuel up with free hot breakfast.
Okay, so let's do some backtracking so I can explain this series. Now, when I started this series, there were many different naysayers that believed that the reason for this series was just because of the difference in doctrines, like the difference in salvation of the Gentiles and who Esau was. Reason being is that this is what the majority have come against them for, and so that's what they assumed my problem was as well. So that's what the feedback was initially, even though from the get-go I stated that wasn't my number one problem, which was the reason I never started with doctrines. My problem was the influence and control of Satan from the very early period on to now. For anyone reviewing the history objectively, it's easy to see that Satan did have influence from the very beginning. And the hypocrisy with many of you is tremendous, because just like Christians don't like looking at the past, they only want to look at their churches today, many of you Israelites prove to be no different. You ignore the history and the past of how this so-called awakening has taken place. And so I took my time going through the history, which is never fun, obviously, because it's history. But I had to lay the foundation. So if you just had patience and allowed me to explain myself, you would have followed the history and seen without a doubt that it was Prince Hall Freemasonry that was a part of the awakening of the earliest Hebrew Israelite churches since the post-Civil War Reconstruction era. And I gave that history down the line straight through. And I do thank many of you that just said you're going to wait until I finish the series. But on the flip side, there were people that could not deal with that history and the conclusions, and they started making videos about it, even though the history, it was concrete. Brothers and sisters, please understand, you can't get mad when history is being exposed. You just have to understand what was happening and deal with it. I didn't create the history, I'm just sharing it. If these men were not Freemasons, there would be nothing to speak about. Don't be mad at me because they were. And there is obviously a reason why these leaders today have ignored that point. I have found that many that have had a problem with me speaking about this history is that though you know of Freemasonry, and you obviously know it's something not of Yah, most that have a problem, they aren't really studied enough in it to understand my reasonings and my points. And instead of taking a step back and studying for themselves, it's easier just to attack me and make videos about me. I went through thoroughly the history of the Israelite movement, and it has been proven that Masonry has been a part of the awakening of some within this Israelite movement. And as I went through the history, you can see that the influence of Freemasonry was never lost within these organizations, which is why they still hold that satanic star. I mean, do you know how many people try to defend using this star because they say it represented a pomegranate on the temple or that it represented a lily? I mean, they say many excuses except that their leaders might have influence that comes from the enemy. I have shown the Masonic trail that leads from Frank Cherry and William Crowdy onto Wentworth Matthews of Commandment Keepers, all who influenced Meredith Bibbitts, and he created the doctrines of the Israeli School of Universal Practical Knowledge, bearing all the symbols and doctrines from Matthews, except for some changes he adopted. And then after his death, the leaders who followed him, still bearing Masonic symbols and structuring their organizations in the same manner of Masons, they created the One West camps that later broke off into the camps that we know today. And so there is a clear foundation of Freemasonry that's documented. And the thing is that if it was baseless, two things would be true. First thing is that this link to Freemasonry of the people before them, it would have been spoken about and condemned, really to make sure that those following them knew without a doubt that that past influence had nothing to do with them. And then secondly, understanding Freemasonry would be something that all camps would be taught and would understand so that they would protect themselves against one of the main tools the enemy has used against our people.
And choose allies by the cover of their skin. We have to look a little deeper, and what values do they have? What God do they worship? What principles, what biblical principles have they adopted? I get it. It's very simple, and it reaches a mass audience when you reduce everything to a skin color. It makes it simple, easy for people to follow along, and it makes a retarded man think he's brilliant. But there's a deeper level of understanding of who your allies are, who you can trust, and who your enemies are. And so I'm surprised I don't hear you talking more about Freemasons and people of that ilk. When you start wanting to talk about who the enemy is, there's a global elite that's been around for hundreds of years, thousands of years, that have been practicing these Freemason principles that are wicked and evil. and that has a lot of impact of what's going on right now. But we've reduced everything down to a very simple-minded conversation, like, oh, I can look at someone by the color of their skin and say they're evil. That's racist. That's the kind of mindset that was used against black people. I just don't think you cure oppression with a different form of oppression or a different form of racism.
Well, thank God I don't have any power as yet to do anything. I can't be racist. I can't even make a phone call and get somebody arrested. But certain people can make a phone call.
Stop that. And so I'm surprised I don't hear you talking more about Freemasons
Okay, like if you just pay attention to the body language and the deflection, it's very easy to see that he's hiding something. He never really addressed the point that he made about him not exposing Freemasonry. Oh, just a casual.
I'm
talking about them. And if you keep listening to that interview, minutes later, he asked to go back to where they were talking before, and he ignored the man's main point. I left a link to this interview in the description box if you want to listen to the whole part so you can see what I'm saying. But my point is that for these men to be talking about the enemy, they literally have ignored the biggest tool against our people and this world. They're ignoring Freemasonry. I mean, I challenge you all to show me major teachings from the Israelites exposing Freemasonry and its goals more than they attack the white man who they call Esau, or just talk about Babylon falling. From this one group of One West that consists of different camps from IUIC, GMS, GOCC, IUSPK, Sakari, etc. All these different camps, all on these street corners. I challenge you to see how much they are speaking against the biggest secret society in the world that has been working against us all for hundreds of years. And they are a direct challenge to the kingdom of Yahuwah. I mean, do your own research on your own. I mean, so many of them come in these comments and literally say they don't care about Freemasonry. And they don't recognize that that's my actual point. They don't care about Freemasonry because they are trained not to care about it because they don't know. Because these men, their leaders, are not teaching them. The question is, why do you think that is? I mean, just look at the way he explained himself here. Oh, I spoke about them before. Not, yes, I agree. These people have been against us and we have been heavily against them and their goals and we speak against them completely. Nothing like that. It's deflection. He used deflection. He didn't even talk about what the man Jason was talking about. Ask yourself why. Look into every major development in the so-called Black America in this country and you will find Prince Hall Masonry in the midst. I mean, do your own research on this. This is not a game. If you don't understand this and why, then you're not qualified to really speak against my reasoning. But okay, these leaders have not truly informed their followers of the main agendas that attaches them to the enemy. Prince Hall Masonry is the only reason Negroes in this country became accepted. So until I have seen the leaders speak against Masonry in depth and see that their followers are not attached to it, I know there is an unseen agenda that many are not aware of. It takes a lot of time to research all this and then really put all the pieces together. And for some reason, people that don't study this in great detail still feel that they're qualified to disqualify those that do.
This is your brain when you're struggling to focus. And this is your brain when you're in the zone.
But anyways, I showed a link to Freemasonry and I made it clear that anyone bearing that satanic star Remphem or under leadership that teaches their people to break the third commandment and still refer to our Father Yahuwah in the same manner our oppressors taught, I know they are not awakened yet. Period. Now, after that Masonic history was proven, I went into the doctrines, first starting with breaking the third commandment, then who Esau is, then salvation to the Gentiles. All important doctrines that whether those who follow the camps know it or not, these are all doctrines that have taken power from you. Yes, you were awakened to your identity, while the devil still made sure you did not have enough power to harm him or go against his agenda. I want you to understand that knowing your identity means nothing. That's not the only thing that matters. Our ancestors, they knew their identity. They knew their identity when they killed our Messiah, and they knew their identity when they rebelled continuously against Yahuwah. What you need to understand is that the devil knows us better than we do. He knows our weaknesses. He has been coming against our people for hundreds of years, and he knows pride is a major problem within our people, which is why our ancestors dealt with the prophets in such harsh ways. Knowing that you're an Israelite means nothing if you don't know what our issue was, which is why our identity was stripped from us in the first place. The devil knows this, and he has used it against many of you. And because one of the models of Freemasonry is about brotherhood and making, as they say, making good men better, tying fatherless men to an organization that gives them understanding of their true identity, while also teaching them to be men and fathers and husbands, you can truly think that you're in the right place. I get it. It's hard to resist if you don't understand the enemy and his games and his organizations. But you cannot get distracted on what's most important. Understand that Satan has agendas too. And one of his agendas is that he awakened many of you so that he had access to you, but it has nothing to do with our Father's kingdom. Well, that's not entirely true. It does have to do with the kingdom, but you're not on the side that you think you are. But that's the series and how we got to this point where we are right now. So here it is. I'm going to break down the real reason for the warning I have given with the Israelites. Please follow me as I break this down. You see, as it stands in this world, I want you to think, does the world recognize us truly as Yah's chosen people? Do they believe this to be true? No. And the truth is that they hate the Hebrew Israelite groups. The organizations today have labeled the One West camps as hate groups, which the camps wear with a badge of honor. But just focus. Does the world recognize truly who we are? Again, the answer is no. Now, with that said, do you understand what is prophesied to happen with us? It's all in Revelation chapter 12. Now, I'm not going to read the whole chapter for time's sake, but we will go to the end. Please read it on your own if you have never read this. Being that we're jumping in this chapter, understand that the dragon is Satan, the woman is Yasharel, and the male child is Yahusha. Okay, let's go to verse 13. Now, when the dragon saw that he had been cast to the earth, he persecuted the woman who gave birth to the male child. But the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness to her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time, from the presence of the serpent. So the serpent spewed water out of his mouth like a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away by the flood. But the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. And the dragon was enraged with the woman, and he went to make war with the rest of her offspring, who keep the commandments of Elohim and have the testimony of Yahusha the Messiah. That's Revelation chapter 12, verses 13 through 17. Okay, so please follow me. After the war in heaven, Satan was cast to the earth, and he persecuted Yasharel. Okay, this is what we have been going through for centuries, and it was allowed by Yahuwah according to what he prophesied of in Jacob's trouble. Okay, but what happens after? Yahuwah gives Yasharel 2 wings of a great eagle and brings us to the wilderness, where he takes care of us, nourishes us for a appointed period of time away from the devil. This is the second Exodus, and notice the words are the same as he used when he brought them out of Egypt in the first Exodus. Exodus chapter 19 says, "You have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice and keep my covenant, then you shall be a special treasure to me above all people, for all the earth is mine, and you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which you shall speak to the children of Israel." Exodus chapter 19, verses 4 through 6. Same imagery that's used, bearing us on eagle's wings. So, okay, because Yahuwah gathers us, the devil's enraged. And verse 15 says, "So the serpent spewed water out of his mouth like a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away by the flood." So what's being said here is that the devil is speaking great words against Yasharel that will make the world come against us. So let's examine what's prophesied to come. If we are living in reality, living in the truth, we know that Yahuwah prophesied to gather us back to him in this second Exodus. It will be great. Now, obviously, the rest of the world will not see it as the second Exodus. They already believe that these people in the land right now have been brought back. But past that, the first major reason is that they don't even know what the second Exodus is. That has nothing to do with mainstream Christian doctrine. And think about it. Christians will be having a hard enough time dealing with the fact that the pre-tribulation rapture was a lie, and that they weren't prepared for what's happening. And again, we already have established that the world does not believe that we are the true Israelites in the first place. But if you believe what is prophesied, we know that the devil is going to use great words to make the world hate us and come directly at us. That's what's prophesied. Now, right now, we are an unrecognized group in this world. We are not enemies by a long shot. the world does not give us any credibility.
Well-known preacher on Easter Sunday was saying, he said to his church that he was preaching that Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, the death, burial, and resurrection that they preach about was all about the persecution of a black man, and that how Jesus was a black man, and that his evidence that Jesus was a black man was because he didn't get a fair trial by the Roman government. And that he used that, begin to manipulate the black men in the room and start declaring no weapon formed against the black men will prosper, and no legal weapon will formed against the black men will prosper. And all of this Marxist, fascist nonsense that he was spewing from the pulpit. And I was watching as men stood up in the room and they're shedding tears over this nonsense, and my heart is broken because I'm thinking, man, what you're hearing right now in this moment is not even consistent with the Word of God. That we know according to history, and we know according to these scriptures, that Jesus was not a black man. I know some of you guys.
What? What? What?
Got him hanging on your wall, a black man with locks, but Jesus was not a black man. We know from history, I feel the Spirit of God, and we know from the Word of God that Jesus was an ethnic Jew, and he was born into a family of ethnic Jews, and he was raised around the Torah, and he learned the things of Jewish family, and he went into the synagogue as was his custom, and he fulfilled the law because he came to do that, and he came to his own first, the people of Israel, the Jewish race. So we know that Jesus was not a
Oh, shoot. Bro, that's crazy. He's saying some big words, being the person that he is. So, like, that's where I'm like, what do he identify himself as? Just a black man? Like, who do he think he is? Where do he think he came from? Bro, he's saying crazy stuff.
black man. I don't care what false doctrine. I don't care about no Hebrew Israelite. We know that Jesus was not a black man. For some of us use our race as idolatry. I don't care. Black people do that. White people do that. We exalt our race as a form of idolatry. Now, Jesus was not a black man. He was an ethnic Jew and had skin like brass and hair like wool. And as I watched the people in that room, some maybe thousands of them, run on with that garbage that was coming across the pulpit. Listen to me. My heart was broken as I thought to myself, look at all of these unsuspecting sheep that don't read the scriptures for themselves and that have no idea what they're listening to right now is heresy and the doctrines of devils from a false prophet. And every time somebody talk like that, you cry, oh, we're being judgmental and critical. When the scripture says false prophets have come from among us and have gone out of us, but they was not with us.
I mean, listen to that nonsense. Clearly the world does not believe this truth, and the leaders are completely set up to be against it. So what exactly do you think the devil has planned in order to make the world all of a sudden desire to come against us? Okay, just hold that real quick. Do you know how much control the enemy has had over our lives? All he does is programming. I mean, think back. Before the war in the Middle East, do you know how much mind control he has placed in our faces, conditioning us for the war in the Middle East and like that September event? Like, think about the major movies from men like Arnold Schwarzenegger actually calling it true lies. It was conditioning us. They showed the enemy many times as these people. It's conditioning. I bring that up to say that the devil plays the long game with us, and the problem for most of us is that we're not able to see it. So where I'm going with this is it brings me back to how I started this whole series in the first place from part 1. If you remember, in the middle of part 1, this is what I said. Whether you agree with me or not, You don't have to agree with all that I have shared in my biblical and academic reasoning. You don't have to right now. But listen, for the sake of argument, please, I'm just asking you to consider. What if what I am saying was true? Please, what if what I am saying is true? What do you think Satan would do? I'm just asking you to consider that if I was right. What do you think Satan would do? I mean, do you think he doesn't know what the promises Yahuwah has to gather us? Do you think that he does not know of the prophecy of the dry bones and Yahuwah prophesying that he's going to wake Israel back up? Of course, Satan knows. Satan knows scripture better than most of us. Remember, he used scripture to tempt Yahusha. So again, just saying that what I'm saying is true. If Satan knows these prophecies and these promises that Yahuwah has said, do you think that if this is true, Satan would just leave this alone? Do you think that Satan, the master of lies and confusion, would not try to make sure that when Yahuwah actually brings forth his prophecy, that when this happens, Satan would not have some kind of distraction and he would deceive as many as he can so that they do not recognize our Father's hand in all this? Do you think that there is a reason why the overwhelming majority of Christians don't even know of the second Exodus, even though he has prophesied of it many times, many scriptures? I'm just asking you to consider all that. Do you remember that? That was always my premise and reasoning for this series. Not to debate about doctrines and to just come against camps, but expose a Masonic agenda that most people cannot see that's right in our faces. As I awakened and learned to the history of the Israelites, I still was not sure what Yah was showing me at the time, until it was all coming together, and then the words for the series he gave me and brought it all out. So again, let's examine it. We live in a world that does not care about us, does not believe that we are the true chosen people. Most of the world, they live in a complete lie. But based off what's prophesied, at some point, our Father is going to gather us, and the world that doesn't even consider us right now, eventually they will be led to hate us. Has anyone ever wondered the lie and the narrative the devil is going to use? And listen, I know people are going to say, well, they hate us right now already. They always have. Yes, that's true. But according to the prophecy, it's going to be different. He says after the devil can't do anything more to us, the devil is going to spread a flood to make the world come against us. Now, we also know the devil is going to form a covenant with the ones who accept him. And listen, the truth is that the world is not going to hate all so-called black people if they are attached to the world agenda. You see that clearly today. But those of us who hold these beliefs in the Torah, we reject the beast and the agenda, and we have been gathered to Yahuwah, we will be hated, and the devil is going to try to come against us. But he will not be able to. So he's going to come for those who are not gathered with us, but still keep the commandments. You must understand that what we're waiting for is a different agenda and different world than what we are a part of today. So that thought that they already hate us is not aligned to this prophecy. You have to understand what's coming. The agenda coming for the world will be about unity. Unity for everyone. No one will be rejected as long as they are aligned to the new world and its goals. But the devil will have an agenda to make everyone hate Yasharel. So again, my question to you is, has anyone ever wondered the lie and the narrative that the devil is going to use? Is that even discussed in the camps? I can tell you who has not thought of this, those who have rushed to make videos about me without trying to understand my purpose and my point. Because let me go back to what I was communicating in part 1. In that video, I also said this. Understand, my desire about this is not to tear anyone down personally. Though I am utterly against the Masonic foundation of the Hebrew Israelite camps, I am not against any of the brothers and sisters that are in these camps. I believe that in the future, when this tribulation starts, because of the foundation of these groups, I believe that they will be joined into a race war that will be used against the overall truth. My desire is to make sure that that truth is told and understood so that those that desire to understand this subject can do so without hearing the bias depending on what side of the fence you're on. You see, there is absolutely truth tied into what the Hebrew Israelites believe, especially about their identity. But unfortunately, there are absolutely lies attached to what they believe as well. And they have been used as a warning sign against the truth that keeps people away from it. I personally believe that if it was not for them, the truth would be much easier to accept for more people, because when you read the scriptures and actually apply them, there's only one group of people on this earth that everything written and prophesied of could actually apply to. But the sect of the Hebrew Israelite camps were created since the time when slavery was said to be abolished and Lincoln freed the slaves, they were brought into this truth in order that Satan had a group that was able to mask the truth and keep people away from it. Satan proactively created his own groups to be the face of truth, so that when Yah did start waking up his children, the truth already had a face and warning sign to it. Okay. And so this is the main issue that most people are not actually understanding when they are reviewing this subject, and this has always been my main point and reason. People are so focused on the one point that draws us together, and that's our identity. Out of all of us that are asleep, we are all ones who right now know who we are, and we know we are attached to the history of the scriptures, and we all know we are ethnically Israelites. And what many of you don't see is that the one West Israelite camps were put together as a false sign and false wonder. One good thing they were doing was letting our people know who they were. But again, if you understand who you are while not understanding the full responsibility behind this, your awakening of being Yasharel, it doesn't matter. These camps, they did a good job in awakening brothers and sisters that they are Israelites, while doing a horrible job in fully aligning them to our Father's will. And they proudly became messengers of hate that made sure that they were visible enough to create enemies on their own. And they have used the fact that they were hated to gain credibility while not really owning why they were hated.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is insurance coverage. So Nourish is a network with a bunch of major insurance plans.
I just want to say that I think the main reason that, people not liking these groups is because of their pride, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And it's not, the pride in it, you know what I'm saying? Them not seeing the true reasoning and the enemy attack, you know what I'm saying? That, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's where it comes into play. Well, I do appreciate Truth Unedited for this, because it's not only helping everybody, but because I want to be a part of the, you know what I'm saying? I'm not against nobody, but I'm definitely not a part of that group either, because I'm not saying like, oh, I only want to be a part of these people. No, like, you know what I'm saying? It's very good to hear, for sure.
So let's get this straight here. I can speak from experience that people hate the truth, period. And they hate those who spread it, period. You don't have to come against them directly. You don't even have to speak about them at all, and they still will hate you. But the Israelite camps, they don't take responsibility that while they're speaking the truth, they are also asking people to hate them at the same time, because they are saying they hate them.
You done made me upset out here. Trying to be politically correct. Be real about it. Be real about yourself. So you understand? Go ahead. Go ahead, read this. God hates you, and we're going to prove it out the Bible.
Dang, bro. That's crazy to say that. Whoa. Hey, bro, yeah, I'm definitely not part of that. That's crazy to say that.
Right. Go to Romans. Go ahead. Romans 9 and 13. Hold on.
He don't hate you because of the color of your skin. Even Martin Luther King said, judge him according to the content and character. We hate white people because God hates white people.
That's crazy. What he's saying is absurd. That's not true, bro. That's not true. That's not true, bro. He didn't create us to hate each other, bro. This is what I'm talking about, that separation, bro. We need to be in unity. I know that girl's like, bro, I know good and well, bro. That's crazy. The picture that they painted, you know what I'm saying? That you separating the same thing that they did. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, bro. it's hard for me to even watch this. You know what I'm saying? And that puts that on me. You know what I'm saying? That put that in my perspective, like in my like. Then I be associated with the people that is out there. You know what I'm saying? I see why Truth and Edited is trying to separate itself. Like I am not a part of that because then other people gonna look at me like, bro, that I hate you. I don't hate you. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, bro. That he putting that out there like that. That's wild, bro. That's embarrassing, man.
And he can already prove it. But we also hate white people because of the signs of what they've done to us. If you take it and look at the lynching, if you take it, they murdered us. They just murdered us a couple of days.
But let's not get distracted with that just yet. For all of those who have been against this series, I want you to do this for me. I ask that you please tell me if it's not possible that Satan would create a group that he would use in the last days to be a scapegoat for the flood that he sends at the true dry bones. Now, whether you agree or not of who I'm saying it is, please tell me that is not possible. Could he have not, since the times of the Civil War, awakened a small group of Negroes and tell them who they truly were, but because of their Masonic associations and the power that he was providing them, they aligned to Masonry more than faith in Yahuwah. So then through the decades, those that he awakened to the truth, they knew who they were, yes, but they still were attached to other goals. And they were told that this is the real power in this world and the real secrets in this world that will give them power in the world. And you see, just like Masons are in the churches teaching about Messiah while leaving out important truth, there would be Masons in the Hebrew Israelite awakening teaching the truth about their identity, but also leaving out other important truths about our promises, while also spreading doctrines that are preparing them for the Masonic agenda that leads the world into the revolution. Whether you want to say it has happened or not, I'm just asking, please tell me if it's possible or not. Clearly, it's not only possible, but it's what has happened. And because most of you don't have the full picture, you have not been able to see it up until now. So let me bring it all home. So look, the conclusion of the series, it's important that it's understood. So I broke it up into two parts. This is the problem, and in the next part, I'm going to provide the proof so that there can be no question. I am being thorough with this so that no one can ever say that this was not broken down in depth. This was always the purpose of this series. But before I just blurted it out and said, this is what I see happening, I had to explain the Masonic foundation from the root so anyone with discernment can follow the trail and understand what's being said. I understand that most people can hear this and then they take offense at first because you never heard this before. It can throw you off. But if you see what's happening in the world today, please don't let your pride or emotions guide your decisions. I have laid out the problem and I'm going to next prove the reason why I'm saying this. Please understand it is not easy to speak on agendas about the future with those who have some sort of attachment to what's being exposed. You don't want to believe it. And what happens is that you will not be ready for the agenda when it takes hold. My family and I were ready for COVID because we were expecting something to take place. You don't have to believe me now, but at least you are hearing it and the seeds are planted so that when these agendas come together, you can really understand what you are seeing and you can be wise enough not to participate. I have been thorough in explaining the problem. What I'm going to do now is show my proof of why this warning has been given. Please go to the next video, part B of this conclusion, and see concretely why I have said what I have said. Please take it in prayer to Yahuwah and let him direct you on what to believe. I pray this helps you and blesses you.
That's crazy. I can actually talk now. So I just wanted to. I need to find some sound effects I need to put around somewhere. So when I'm maybe on here or something, maybe I do it to where I got two things going on one screen.
Bruh.
Let me see.
We do not care.
Hold on. Hold on. That was crazy. But what was I trying to say? I wanted a clap. That's all I wanted. I'm just trying to listen to these dang sounds. Hey, let's go over. Uh, yeah, I'm about to be done for today. I made a little instrumental, but yeah, I just wanted to. I'm gonna be on here I'm gonna be my best to be on here every day. I also appreciate y'all, cause y'all support it, man. So yeah, I'm gonna have to really check this out. Let's check this out real quick. I just want y'all to see the subscribers yourself. I'm gonna get a good overlay for this. I'm gonna edit my overlay. Let me see. Y'all really been supporting, man. I just honestly, I really feel like we hit the goal already. You know what I'm saying? I really feel like we hit the goal already. I really feel like we hit the goal. I couldn't do without y'all. But yeah, I gotta look at it for real, for real. I gotta look at it for real. But it say right here on the OBS that we really haven't hit it yet. But I don't know if they're considering everything. I'm gonna have to check the overlay. I'm gonna have to check the overlay. Let me see. Let me check the overlay right now. You know what? Shoot. I don't know what we should do for a dang on. This seems like it never works, this alert box. Anyway, I don't want to do this right now. I really appreciate y'all, bro. So, if y'all haven't heard some of these songs that I don't know how many people are watching right now, so but I just appreciate y'all. I really do. I'm gonna do some challenges, like with business.
How you do that?
And
You have to do this. You have to go there.
Malcolm, what you want? Okay, get down. I know, better be time to get off. They saying it's almost time to get off, Elijah. You gotta get off here in a second. I know. It's been lovely. We didn't really go over really anything, but shoot, we watched Truth Unedited. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know. Wait. Okay, wait. Layla, get down. I'm gonna read title this Sabbath Stream Truth Unedited series and FL Studio. Quick Cookup. So that's what it's really about. Shoot.
Daddy, I know we read yesterday.
Just wait. We'll talk about it here in a second. Did you do what your mama told you to do?
We did. Ready.
Bye. All right. I haven't really been paying attention to Twitch because most of the love has been on YouTube, so I've been focusing my attention more on YouTube. So, well, we're gonna keep grinding though. I'm excited. We about to get to 90 subscribers. I'm gonna really turn up then, cause we're gonna get it going for sure. All right. I know what I do. I'm in the bathroom, dropping the mat too. I'm in the mental. I don't know what I'm in the pen to. I just thank you for all that he done. He sent his only son, and I'm not the one that's already in the room. I need to work on my freestyles. I'm trying to do this in town. I'm just thinking about all the way, all the time. Gotta get it. your love that's keeping from falling deep. It's your love that's keeping me coming back. I love how it's holding me down. I love when your presence is around, oh, but you won't stay around unless I follow your commandments now. You promise to keep your love always around. Hallelujah. It's your love that's surrounding me. It's your love that's keeping from falling deep. It's your love. Will the devil have a grip on me with your love? You set the captives free. Come on. No more. Will the devil have a grip on me with your love? You set the captives free. Oh yeah. It's your love that's surrounding me. It's your love that's keeping from falling deep. It's your love. Hallelujah. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loveth us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Elohim. I love y'all. Stay blessed. Don't forget to like and subscribe to